What's up, everybody? Listening to Roundtable Wrestling Radio for September 20th, 2017. I'm Joey Lad 24, and with me as always from Queens, New York.
The one, the only Byron.
And with us as well from the Bronx of New York City.
Innocent, a.k.a. Big O.
Now, we have not done a show since before SummerSlam, and a lot of shit has gone down. One of the things that has gone down, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, because I believe it's actually a good thing, believe it or not, and that is Bobby the Brain Heenan passing away from the incredible suffering that he was going through with the cancer. And, you know, I don't know if you saw pictures of Bobby Heenan in his last days, but it was not, I could barely look at it, let's put it that way.
Yeah, I saw YouTube videos of it, him in book signings.
Yes, yeah. I personally, when I heard that he passed away, I actually thought, you know, it was a good thing because he's not. I heard he was suffering like really bad, you know,
wait. He was suffering from the cancer.
Yeah. I mean, his mouth and jaw had to be removed and all that. I mean, he was not, you know, he was there brain wise, you know, he had all his mental faculties, but you know, he was suffering. Believe it, he was really suffering. I think,
Of course, you're gonna suffer. Nothing can prepare you to lose your bottom jaw, especially when you was a commentator, where you made your money just by talking. Yeah. And I think then they had to cut like some of his tongue off or something like that.
Something. Like, it was bad.
Yeah, that's how bad it got. So yeah, you know, he didn't look good.
Or he had to eat through it.
I know. I doubt it. I doubt he was so skinny. Have you seen videos of him in like this year last year?
The last video I saw was him. I forgot what his name is, but he was at some convention and he was signing autographs. That's the last time I saw him.
Yeah, well, so you know more or less. He basically looked unrecognizable. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it was a really sad thing to see. Bobby the Brain. Yeah, it was bad. You know, but on the positive note, you know, Bobby the Brain Heenan was definitely to me one of the funniest and the best heel commentator ever. You know, he influenced a lot of people, believe it or not. He influenced Corey Graves. If you listen to Corey Graves, some of his things is definitely throwback Heenan lines. Jerry Lawler is another one. You know, it's Bobby the Brain Heenan is definitely one of the best heel announcers ever. Him and Jesse Ventura, definitely, in my personal opinion, the old days.
And by the way, you know what's interesting about Bobby Heenan? Believe it or not, I was actually on the WWE Network.
He did suck when he was in WCW, though.
Yeah, well, because he didn't care. But I was on the WWE Network, and I was actually watching Primetime Wrestling with Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon when the announcement was made that he had passed away. And if anybody did not grow up with Bobby Heenan, I recommend going on the network and watching Primetime Wrestling. It is the best stuff that you will ever see, man. Never a boring moment when Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon were doing that Primetime Wrestling thing. It was just incredible stuff.
They always argued, you know, types of shit. Man, them two together were always classic. But not only them two, but when Bobby Heenan also teamed up against, he did commentating with Vince McMahon. Them going back and forth also was funny as hell.
But it was definitely, to me, there's nothing better than Gorilla and Bobby Heenan. You know, it's just something about his personality bashing with gorillas, man. Two total opposites. They played off each other really well. Yeah. You know, and you know, he was definitely one of the funniest. I mean, he had one-liners when you watch wrestling. Like it was just he used to diss the Bushwhackers and say, you know, they used to leave a ring around the ocean, and you know, I mean, the things he used to say, even me being a kid, I got, and there was adult humor, but he's definitely would be missed.
And by the way, also has one of the greatest Hall of Fame speeches of all time. So he was
up there for like an hour, right?
Yeah, and you wouldn't even notice it because it was so good. That's how, you know.
And you could tell, even at that time, you could tell that little by little, his health was declining because his voice wasn't the same.
Yeah. Right.
You know, he's just, you know, it was getting there.
Yeah, he had the lisp thing going. Like I said, he was suffering, man. You know, and now he doesn't have to suffer anymore, which is to me, it's a good thing because I have a real problem with people in that state. You know, I don't even want to like look at. I could hardly not look at pictures of Bobby Heenan. It was really tough for me. But yeah, Bobby Heenan was a part. Like when I grew up, that was it. Bobby Heenan was the man. The man. Everybody loved Bobby Heenan. He told this. You know, I don't know if you ever saw the press conference for WrestleMania 3 with Andre and Hogan was like, he was talking. He was like, you know, I've looked up to this man for years and years and years. And Bobby Heenan interrupted him and said, "Of course you looked up to him. He's 7 foot tall." And everybody started laughing in the press conference. It was awesome. Like it just came out of nowhere, you know. And Bobby was like the quickest. Like he would really have like a line for everything, man. You know, just really good stuff, man. Really good stuff. I'm glad that WWE paid tribute the way that they did because you know they're weird about that kind of stuff sometimes.
Yeah, if and as you know, all the listeners, if you noticed, we're talking about WWE because in WCW, he just wasn't that good, you know, and it wasn't his fault, and it's not because he didn't care. It's because didn't they tell him they didn't want the Bobby Heenan from WWE? They didn't want him to be funny. They didn't want him to be like overly like a heel commentator. I think they wanted him to be a regular guy.
Right. I think the best way to find that out is right now. As a matter of fact, Tony Schiavone is doing these podcasts that Bruce Pritchard does.
Yes, and I've been watching a lot of it.
And he's actually telling right now the stories of that Bobby Heenan being in WCW. So if you want to find out exactly what went on and all that, I recommend it. It is.
Yeah, I highly recommend those shoot interviews. Is that and Bruce Pritchard, like really, like they're really. Yeah, and you know, and especially if you're like you grew up in the golden era, you know, a lot of these stories you're gonna remember, and you're gonna say, "Wow, I didn't know that."
And by the way, you know, for me to listen to a pod, you know, I was not into it, you know, listening to podcasts. But when I heard that Bruce Pritchard, like the first thing that he said, and I started listening, and you know, talking about you know the good time, the way that they created Jeff Jarrett. You know, with the Double J stuff, and you know, Bruce Pritchard was a part of a lot of shit. You know, Montreal Screwjob. Guess who's right there next to Vince McMahon? Bruce Pritchard. You know, he was there when Bret Hart knocked him out. So, just really good stuff, man. I'm telling you, like I could listen to that. I play my game on PlayStation, and I have the podcast playing in my headphones, man. It's just amazing stuff that they do. You know, I'm sorry, the amazing stuff that they talk about on that podcast. So I recommend it. He's, you know, like I said, currently with Bobby Heenan passing away, Tony Schiavone is actually talking about Bobby Heenan being in WCW. So I haven't even heard the whole thing yet. So I really recommend that. Switching gears for a second, like we said, we haven't been on for a while. I went to SummerSlam, and I got to tell you, you know, that main event was one of the best main events in terms of the audience. We were so into that main event at SummerSlam when Braun Strowman was just like throwing Brock Lesnar all over the place. People were losing their shit in the crowd. I don't know if it came off on screen as well as it did in the audience, but man, you know, like people were there for hours, but yet they were so like energized by that main event. It was one of the best main events I've seen in a long, long time, man. I was so happy that they did that. And by the way, I don't know if you know this, but Brock Lesnar has a track record of having good matches at SummerSlam. Someone pointed that out. Like if you watch the CM Punk match, his Triple H match, the match.
This CM Punk match was great.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar and The Rock. Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle. SummerSlam, for some reason, Brock Lesnar shows up to fight. You know,
and it's all by coincidence because you know, definitely if it's up to Brock Lesnar, he won't break a sweat. And that match, he broke heavy sweat. And I remember telling somebody when I seen that match, I said, you know, when the match was over and when I saw Brock just laying down, breathing heavy, red as like a tomato, I was like, he knows how to work again.
Like a tomato.
He was probably thinking to himself, I haven't worked this hard since, you know, the next big thing era, you know, like that's how long it's been. And Brock Lesnar did show out, but, you know, I'm going to keep it real with you. I don't know. Like, I see Brock Lesnar, the way he gasses out and turns red, it's almost scary. It's like he's going to catch a heart attack or something.
No, you don't ever keep it real with me, man. You don't ever keep it real.
No, but, like, no, seriously, like, I never remember Brock gassing that much.
Oh, yeah.
You know, especially...
Watch the Undertaker match with Hell in a Cell back in the day. That match, I'm telling you, man. But you're right. When Brock Lesnar, and I said this many times on the show, when Brock Lesnar respects the person that he's in the ring with, he goes all out. When he doesn't respect the guy, he doesn't, do very much. But you could tell that he respects and he's working with Braun Strowman. He's putting him over big time. Braun Strowman has had the best of Brock Lesnar every time that they've been in the ring together. So,
which is an obvious indication that he's going to lose to Brock Lesnar. Right. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I wish it wasn't so obvious, but yeah, they made it clear right there.
I gotta say, dude, as great as that, I don't know, Byron, did you like the main event? Because that was, I think, match of the candidate, in my opinion.
I watched it, and I was in my house. I could only imagine how the people were at the Barclays Center were going.
Yeah, I was
literally like, holy shit, in my house. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I wasn't jumping up and down because at that time I can't. People are sleeping downstairs. But I could only imagine people in the Barclays Center, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you something. That match woke me up. Woke me back up. Because the pay-per-view was putting me to sleep. I'm sorry to tell you, but...
Well, no, you're right. You're right. And by the way, like I said, we were there for, obviously several hours. And for some reason, when that main event had started to happen, people were very energized, man. That was not disappointing at all. That main event delivered, and it was just... And by the way, on the other side of that, I said it from day one about Jinder Mahal. Horrible decision of putting him with the WWE champion. Even worse decision with putting him with Nakamura so fast. I think they have killed the aura of both of those guys, in my opinion.
What was we telling you about Nakamura? We seen it coming. I told you this was gonna happen. It just was so plain to see.
Wait. You said that the people were going to turn on him because he doesn't speak English.
I didn't say he was going to turn on him. I said he's not going to be as over because of that. I said he doesn't have that presence like he did in NXT, and he doesn't.
We did say that. We said basically that he wasn't being booked correctly since day one.
That's true.
And the situations that he's in now, he's not that star that he was once in NXT. He doesn't have.
I mean, like you just said, look what they're doing. They got this guy making fun of his facial expressions now. Now they're saying that he looks constipated. And I'm sorry, I marked out for it. I thought it was kind of funny, but
I'm telling you that being in the Barclays Center, the one thing I disagree with you guys is that he's not as over. He is very over. I was there live when he came out. He was very, very over.
But Joey, let me ask you a question. When you see him, right? When you see him on the screen, what do you see? Yourself.
I see Nakamura.
You don't want to admit it.
No, I don't understand what you mean.
Like, what do you feel when you see him? Do you feel like, that guy is the top dog? He's the next John Cena or next Hulk Hogan? What do you see?
No, I agree with you that the booking of him is horrible. It's horrendous. But I disagree about the fact that he's not over. He's very over.
I don't think he's over as he should be.
Now, you see, again, like I said, I mean, I can only say what I was, a witness to, and the crowd was very, very into Nakamura. I'm telling you.
No, the crowd is.
And now they got Jinder Mahal making fun of his facial expressions. That's one thing I've noticed, yo. Why do WWE do that? They have a guy that they want over so badly, but they know it's kind of in between, so they have the heel make fun of the guy to the point where it's actually funny. And don't you think that the crowd is going to turn his way? Like, hey, you're right. I never noticed that. Let me turn on him because of that.
I don't know if you saw. I think it was. What's today? Wednesday? I think it was yesterday. He did the back in the 80s, whenever you would do a Japanese accent, he was like. He's running from wrong, and he was doing that, and people I guess got upset that they called it racist or whatever.
That was too far.
Yeah.
Oh,
I loved it. I thought it was hilarious.
I think it was awesome. By the way, and by the way, that's too far. But really, that's too far. I don't know. This crowd is like.
But I love the way how he actually played the crowd and was like, "Oh, you think that's too far? Well, wait till you hear it in Punjabi." I'm like, I'm sorry, but the last 2 weeks, I don't know. Like, somebody in the back must have said, okay, listen, you're a little too stale and you're a dud when you're out there talking. So just try to be funny. Do something. Spice up your character, because it was the same promo every week, every fucking week.
The thing is that me and Joey said the same thing about this guy, is that he talks way too quietly. He doesn't express himself hard.
He says the same thing every week, but I'm glad.
Even if he does, if he had at least a little temper in him and yelling it out and saying it like he's the shit, like, it would come off differently. But he's always, hey guys, today I am the champion, and like, what the fuck?
Exactly. When let me tell you something. When Iron Sheik back in the '80s was the person that beat Bob Backlund, he would get on that microphone and he would sell you the fuck out. Okay, the guy was amazing on the mic. He would get massive heat on him. Jinder Mahal does not do that. Jinder Mahal is, like O said, same promo, and like you said, Byron, no authority. It's almost like he doesn't believe that he's a champion. You know, like, it's just one of the worst decisions in modern history. And I'm trying to figure out.
But with that being said, he's been the champion for a while now, longer than a lot of people.
Let me tell you something. I was the first person that said that the real test would be if he could come out of SummerSlam as the champion. And guess what? He did. He did come out. And I don't. But again, I really thought like maybe a while with the title that it would help him and build him. But he's not elevating. He's not elevating whatsoever. There's nothing going on with him at all. As a matter of fact, Kevin Owens has kind of stolen the thunder of that show. You know, he's the one that was in there with Vince McMahon, not Jinder Mahal. You know, Kevin Owens is the one that's kind of like the man on SmackDown. And you know, again, this guy's holding the title that Bruno Sammartino and Hogan and Macho Man had, dude. I think that's embarrassing. You know, and let me tell you something, man. SmackDown, I don't know, you know, unbelievably, like, I just found this out a couple of weeks ago. Road Dogg is the head writer of SmackDown. And somebody tweeted Road Dogg a picture of the audience, and, you know, that there was no audience, basically, and what happened to SmackDown. You know, the guy was asking what happened to Luke Harper, and Road Dogg was like, you think if we put Luke Harper on the show that it's going to help with attendance? Like, that was so fucked up to say about your own talent.
First of all, it's not about Luke Harper. It's accumulation of everything. Luke Harper is just a piece of the puzzle. Oh, my God. How stupid can you be? And then to put yourself out there like that.
Wait. Before you continue, wait, Joey.
Should not have made that comment, though, is what I'm saying.
You're right. He's basically saying Luke Harper ain't shit.
Right, exactly.
But before you continue, first of all, I don't think there's a problem with SmackDown. All right, There's little things, yes, here and there, but they've been dominating Raw for a long time. Just recently, Raw has been picking it up. Recently.
Ever since SummerSlam, SmackDown has gone down.
This is what I'm saying. But this is what I'm saying. So the booking isn't as horrible as people are saying it is. I think. First of all, listen. First of all, the women's division is way better on fucking SmackDown. The thing with Kevin Owens, they've been building this up for a while. It's been going good. So they've been busting their ass working on that shit.
Right. That's what I just said. Like,
and they also have the what's those two comedians? The guys, the tag team guys.
Fashion Police.
Yeah, them, and they also have the Usos feuding with the New Days. I mean, they're doing their things, but recently I think they've been kind of like.
When you think about it, in the sense that, first of all, New Day fighting the Usos every week is killing that being special. That's number one.
You know, not for nothing, but man, when I know they fight a lot, but damn, every time they fight, they fucking have awesome matches.
But it's making it.
Yeah, but after a while, they're gonna run out of things to do.
But exactly. Yes, I agree. And the tag team division on SmackDown isn't that great as Raw also.
And let me tell you something. While, yes, it's true that they are doing something with the women, I still don't care about the women. I'm sorry. I don't care that Charlotte came out and is now the baby face and whatever. I don't care about any. Becky Lynch has just been treated like a piece of shit. I don't know what the fuck or who's against Becky Lynch, but she's got tossed to the side. They've gone with Naomi, which she was a horrible champion. And then the pettiness of WWE is that they took the belt off of Naomi because she said she was going to have a special entrance at SummerSlam. This is the kind of company that we're dealing with. Okay?
Listen.
Hold on, but first of all, that was the right call because she was doing absolutely shit with that title.
I agree. I agree with you.
Whether it's about the fucking entrance or not, it was the right thing to do regardless, in my opinion.
I agree it's the right thing to do, but what I'm saying is the reasoning that they did it, that's what I'm saying about WWE.
That's pretty stupid.
It's so petty, the way that they do things. Go ahead. And then AJ Styles. You have a AJ Styles, the wrestler of the year on everybody's list, by the way, not just ours, everyone's list. PWI. Whatever.
Yeah,
whatever.
Sure. And he's feuded with Baron Corbin now.
He's feuded with Baron Corbin and Ty Dillinger, dude. Give me a fucking break. That is horrible.
Well, can I tell you something about AJ? AJ should be in the main event spotlight, but last year he was main event everywhere on SmackDown. So I'm okay with him falling back to second place because that's where he's at right now.
Right, and I agree with you. I'm not. By the way, I'm not disappointed that AJ's the U.S. champion or he's secondary right now. What I'm disappointed in is the guys he's fighting. That's what I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
We know AJ can have a match, a great match. He doesn't get enough time, on SmackDown. I don't know why.
And then they buried Baron Corbin to the point where now he's going to feud with Baron Corbin. That I don't get it. For what? And let me tell you something. If Baron Corbin beats him, that's going to be the biggest mistake they did. All right? Because Baron Corbin is in a down slope right now. He's been losing almost every match.
And I'm glad you brought that up because we haven't done a show in a while, and that's another thing that WWE did. Baron Corbin, went on Twitter and started acting like a jackass, and now they buried Baron Corbin. And here's the other one that I want to talk about really quick. Here's a guy that was over, okay? Now, the general audience that goes to Raw and SmackDown, for the most part, they don't care about what's going on backstage. And who I'm referring to is Enzo Amore. Okay, and nobody was aware of this. Enzo was massively over, and what did WWE do? They decided to bring it out into the crowd about what was going on backstage, and now they have killed Enzo Amore. And
they are killing him. To me, it just looks like they want him to turn heel. I don't know if this is a ploy to have him turn heel to the point where he's gonna be extra annoying. Or they just want him, but I'm leaning more towards they want him to bury himself so they can find a reason to get rid of him. That's what it looks like to me.
That's what I'm saying. The guy was over. The guy was selling a massive amount of merchandise. The guy did spike the ratings, but because of what was going on backstage, they decided to put that all in the forefront. And this is what I'm talking about the pettiness of WWE. There was no need for that. Now, granted, again, most of us don't know that Enzo is annoying backstage. No, most of us don't care about that. But now we're all aware of it, and now everybody's starting to boo him. And then Braun Strowman completely murdered this guy on Raw.
That's what I'm saying. So you have the guy. Let me say this part. So you have the guy who is about to fight for the Cruiserweight Championship, get destroyed by Braun Strowman after getting destroyed. Well, not destroyed, but manhandled by The Miz the week before. Right. Before that, a couple weeks before that, got destroyed week after week by Big Cass. So what is that telling you about the guy who's about to fight for the Cruiserweight Championship? And yet you want the Cruiserweight Championship, ratings to go up. You want things like that to improve, and this is what you're doing? Wow.
Exactly. And by the way,
it makes no sense.
By the way, this is my point about the WWE being petty. We had this discussion on the group page, about Dolph Ziggler doing this Ultimate Warrior thing. My thing about that is it's included with the Enzo, it's included with Naomi, is that WWE did not have to do that one. But they chose to do it anyway. For what reason, I don't know. That's the thing that bothered me. I'm not bothered by Dolph Ziggler using someone, to get over. But what I'm saying is that here's a guy who's kind of, fresh in our minds, that he had a heart attack and passed away. Why utilize that? I don't know if you heard the audio of when Ziggler went out there. Everybody was so, they were kind of angry about it. Why use the Ultimate Warrior? And again, this is the pettiness of WWE with Enzo, with Ultimate Warrior, with Naomi. Keep in mind, by the way.
I don't find that such a big deal, though. I don't think he's playing a character.
Okay,
Ultimate Warrior was a part of this business. Okay, he out of all people will understand this is a character. It's not like he went out there and said, "Hey, Ultimate Warrior was horrible in the ring. He couldn't do nothing." Even though that's what more or less
but the problem is Warrior believed in his character.
Exactly, Warrior would have a major problem with that.
He changed his real name to Ultimate Warrior.
This is not the first time WWE did tasteful and tasteless things, but at the end of the day, this is a character. He's a bad guy. That's what they do in wrestling. When Warrior was around, Sergeant Slaughter was burning the American flag. I mean, it's just
it wasn't the American flag. I said it wasn't the American flag. It was Hogan's T-shirt.
No, but didn't he burn the American flag, or he was going to burn it, right?
They wanted,
whatever. Okay, well, the point was, he was a part of the most controversial storyline, but that's not the point. The point is Warrior out of all people will understand that this is a part of the business. You have Batista. Batista was talking about Eddie Guerrero being dead.
Warrior would not understand that. Hell no.
You're wrong about that. No. Warrior, there's a video, as a matter of fact, of Warrior talking about Kevin Nash, who was talking shit about him and the Ultimate Warrior thing. And he went off on Kevin Nash about it. Believe me when I tell you that the Warrior would have a major problem with that. A major problem.
Well, yeah, but Warrior had a problem with a lot of things. I mean, now that I think about it. But I don't think it's a big deal, though.
No, and I agree with you. I'm not saying it's a big deal. What I'm saying, and by the way, people were upset about the Batista thing. Don't get that twisted. People were upset about it, the Eddie Guerrero thing that you're talking about, and not only that, but the spitting of the car also was a major thing that they did. My thing is, tell me the reason why they had to use the Warrior. Just give me the reason. There's no reason for them to come out with the Ultimate Warrior. That's my point. Is that, and by the way, just nonsense about, well, it's wrestling, so we could get away with it. I don't believe in that. And Mick Foley talked about that too. Like Vince McMahon has that mentality that because we're doing a wrestling show that anything goes and anything is up for grabs. I don't believe that. I don't believe anything is up for grabs. I don't, and Mick Foley said that many times, by the way, and that's why he had many troubles with the WWE because where's the cutoff point? Like at what point do you say, okay, we're talking about wrestling characters, yes, but at what point do you stop talking about that? Because first of all, like Byron said, Ultimate Warrior changed his name to the Warrior. That's number one. So he wasn't playing a character. He was the Ultimate Warrior. That wasn't a character. That's number one.
And you know what the end result is going to be about all this, though, right? I mean, first of all, I don't know if you know what's going on, but like basically,
I know.
The reports is Dolph Ziggler is not going to resign, right? But this is one thing I never understood about WWE. When a guy is not going to resign that you shitted on for years, all of a sudden you give them the spotlight to do a bunch of things, like to give them the spotlight again. Now the payoff is obviously going to be Bobby Roode, the spectacular entrance and.
Exactly.
But
that's my point. Like Ziggler's going.
But they giving Ziggler the spotlight right now. So if he decides to go, it's almost like they revamped his character.
Right, but is it the spotlight though? I mean, Dolph Ziggler is.
Yes. Well, what was he doing before that?
Okay, but what
he didn't have mic time. But he's having mic time now. Now he's showing his personality, and I'm gonna keep it real with you. Really? I'm entertained. I'm entertained by this. I liked it, the whole thing that he came. He came out with the Naomi entrance and the Bailey just looking stupid. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was funny. I think that I like it.
And I agree with you. I was into it until the Ultimate Warrior one because there was no need for it. There was no need for it.
I love that one the most, to be honest with you. But
like I said, I mean. So let me ask you this: do you think that they would do something where a guy would come down, from the roof and then fall? No, you wouldn't expect that because that would be tasteless. That would be horrifying, But it's wrestling, so I guess you could do it. Like that. There has to be a cutoff point at some point, with this bullshit. That it's wrestling. Big Show with his father. I just personally I look at it from my standpoint. Would I, have the integrity to say no? I'm not going to do that. And then when WWE doesn't get their way on that, they say that you don't want to do business. That's what they use. They use that phrase. You don't want to do business. No, I don't want to look like a jackass. That's
well,
like
of course, the WWE's not going to admit, hey, I'm trying to bury you, but that's going to be a defense.
And then the ultimate thing about this is that it doesn't have a payoff because Ziggler is going to leave the company. He's going to job to Bobby Roode. So what is the point? What is the point of doing this? That's my point right there.
That's why I don't understand. Why are you? But the thing is like I said, they're giving him the spotlight, and I feel like when he leaves WWE, he's going to be more hot than when he was, in my opinion. I think Dolph Ziggler is going to be a little bit more hot because he had all those segments and all the exposure the last couple months.
I agree with you.
I thought that I thought they were like I thought they bury people if they're going to leave, like totally bury them.
Oh, the burying is coming. Don't get it twisted. The burying is
Yeah, it's coming, but I mean. I'm talking about not even give them no time like this. I'm talking about Kurt Hawkins buried, Enzo buried.
Right. No, but there's plenty of examples of guys that were about to leave the company that they started pushing. There's a lot of examples of that. Raven had it, and when he was about to leave the company, Stevie Richards had it.
No, you're right. I remember saying the same thing. There's a lot of people who got pushes right before they leave the company, but why do they do that? Why? I don't get it.
Because they wanna have the audience think that they're not leaving the company or whatever, or that everything is good. WWE has a very warped and twisted way of doing things. I don't know why. But again,
I remember RVD. Yeah, he had a push too when he was leaving.
Exactly.
And going that pay-per-view, but
Batista. Well, by the way, but once again, my thing is like I thought that they had mended fences with the Warrior and the way that they did that tribute to him. I don't know, Byron. Where did you even see that, Byron, or you don't care about it?
What, the Bobby Heenan tribute?
No, the Ultimate Warrior Dolph Ziggler thing. I guess he didn't.
I'll tell you this much. I know he did it for the past 3 weeks. He's been doing the same thing. The second week, I was like, okay, whatever. And the third week, he did it again, and I was like, I'm not watching this because it's the same shit. He's not really doing anything but the same thing. Like, he's just running around imitating a wrestler entrance, and he's saying the same exact thing he said 2 weeks ago, last week. So there's nothing different. So I don't even find it interesting.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Well, I will say that the third week definitely wasn't as funny. I thought the first 2 weeks was funny. I liked it.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I think.
I mean, come on, he came out with Triple H's entrance, spit the water, and said, "Am I cool? Can I run NXT now?" Like, it was hilarious.
I get all that. But at the same time, if you've seen the guy doing this, week after week, he's not wrestling. He's just doing this, and it's kind of corny. He is getting buried.
But not only that, exactly. Thank you. Not only that,
he's not getting buried. They're giving him spotlight. They're giving him
but time. It's a boring spotlight. Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody in the audience is like finding this humorous.
Sure, I like it. I don't know about
in the beginning. Listen, in the first time he did it, I thought it was funny. The second time, it was okay. The third time, come on, dude, like.
The third time, I will admit.
By the way, I go back and watch the Warrior one and look at the crowd's response to it. They were kind of like shocked, like, whoa, like, okay, you're doing Bayley and Naomi, but why the Warrior? Like, I don't know, like, I found that odd, really,
because
really
they're trying to make the WWE is playing this shit as. Let's put all the heat on Ziggler where people are going to really hate his ass to bury him out there. That he's actually making fun of the Warrior also.
It was a different reaction for the Warrior one, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it was a disgusting reaction. Like, what? Like, why would he do that? Then people will hate him even more now.
And my thing is, like, it's when you don't have to do something, but you still do it, like, that's what bothers me about it. Ziggler could have came across with that point without using the Warrior to do it. That's all I'm saying. And again, it's still very fresh. The Warriors having a heart attack, the night after Raw is still a little bit fresh, in people's minds. And and again, just look at the crowd. I'm not the only one that feels like this. And again, me, like I'm okay with most of the stuff that goes on, with wrestling. But the Warrior thing, again, the way he passed away. I don't know, man. That bothered me for some reason. It did. I fully admit that. But But changing gears for a second, something interesting that's happened after SummerSlam is that they are having this No Mercy pay-per-view, which is this Sunday. And at this pay-per-view, Roman Reigns is going to battle John Cena. And just to give you like context, this is the man, John Cena, the Hogan of the modern era, and Roman, the future, the man. And they're having this match at a No Mercy, and that's not even the topper. They're also having Braun Strowman, the guy that they have built up into a megastar. Really amazing job the way that they built Braun Strowman, and he's fighting Brock Lesnar at this pay-per-view. And I think,
would you go as far as to call him a megastar? You think Braun Strowman is a megastar?
Oh no, you're right. I take that back. You're right.
I don't know about him being he's a star. Right. He's getting there. He definitely got time to, Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
Braun Strowman, man.
He's becoming a superstar, though.
Yeah, he's taking over, dude. Like
he is taking over.
Let me tell you something. You know what he's becoming? He's actually taking the spot that Roman Reigns should be having, which is that popularity that that the WWE wanted for Roman Reigns. That's what Braun Strowman is becoming. The popularity he's getting is Roman Reigns' popularity.
I look at it like Braun is taking the spot that Lesnar had in 2002. The way that Lesnar came into the company and the next big.
But you don't really look at it as in, like I think WWE. Well, first off, I know Vince was highly on this guy. He wanted him to main event WrestleMania against Taker, like when he first came out, like when he first debuted and shit. Like
we made fun of that, by the way, at that time.
At that time, but honestly, I'm glad they didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Right. But they built him up. They built him up the right way within this past year. Build him up to a monster. But what I'm saying is, I don't think he's like. I don't compare it to Brock Lesnar's thing. I really look at it as he took the spotlight that Roman Reigns was given. Like that was supposed to be his spotlight.
I don't know. Like if you watch the Lesnar stuff from 2002 when he came in with Paul Heyman and he was destroying everybody and he won the King of the Ring and then he went to SummerSlam and destroyed The Rock. That's how I feel Braun Strowman is doing. He's literally destroying all the top guys and Lesnar suplexes him and he gets right back up. Like nobody's ever done that to Lesnar.
But I'm talking about about like in popularity, like what the fans should have been, they should have been cheering for. Was supposed to be Roman, and that they're not doing that for Roman. They're doing that for Braun.
Either way, they should not be having Braun and Brock and Roman and Cena at this pay-per-view. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. Those are fucking WrestleMania matches.
And those are pay-per-views that's easily forgotten. Like in my opinion, I really feel like these matches don't feel as big because it's in No Mercy. It's not on WrestleMania. It's not gonna be. It's not the same. I don't know. That's how I feel.
What about these nuts though? Anyway, because you said
how did that come from?
I know.
Oh, sorry.
No, but
these pay-per-views doesn't feel the same. I don't know. And I said it because I said it earlier before we got on air. A lot of people, and I'm one of them. I just feel like this John Cena and Roman Reigns match. Yeah, it was interesting, but I don't feel. It doesn't feel as big to me like John Cena when he fought The Rock. You know what I'm saying? When he hold on, give me a second. When John Cena fought The Rock, I felt the importance of this match. When Brock Lesnar came back and fought John Cena, I felt how big it was. This one don't feel as big as those matches, in my opinion.
Right. And now I'm gonna tell you this much. I've said this a long time ago. I was always wondering, well, not wondering, but I always thought of when these guys face each other, the reaction of the crowd, who's going to be booed the most. Yeah. That's what's going to happen on Sunday night. You're going to hear that fucking crowd cheer and boo as you never heard them before, man, for this match. Because they're both disliked by the fans, but mostly it's Roman Reigns at this point. You know what I'm saying? So there's going to be a lot of fucking interest in the match.
John Cena's totally going to get cheered over Roman.
Hell yeah. John Cena, let me tell you something. John Cena has earned everybody's respect. The crowd just chants "you suck" because it's like a Kurt Angle "you suck" chant. That's all it is. But when Roman Reigns gets it, it's because they really do not like the guy. You get what I'm saying? John Cena was there at one point, but John Cena's earned everybody's respect already. People seen his matches. He can fucking wrestle his ass off now. He cuts the best promos when he really needs to cut them fucking promos and cut somebody down. Like he's earned his spot. You know what I'm saying? So but at the same time,
for No Mercy, for No Mercy.
But that's the only thing that I don't like, and they have to have there has to be something behind them giving us these two major matches. There has to be something, installed for something bigger for these four guys. There has to be, because I don't see, the only thing I can see is John Cena leaving, and they wanted to get this out the way.
Keep in mind, by the way, that in terms of Roman being Roman, like the superstar Roman, he has never fought Cena. This is a first-time match, and just like the Rock match, like O said, you're wasting it at and it is on my birthday, but still, these are two mega fights. It's good for us, because we get them, but I just, it should be our WrestleMania, man. That's all I'm saying. I'm sure it's going to be okay. They're going to put on a good match. Hopefully, maybe this will be the beginning of a trilogy or something. I don't know. But I find it odd and weird that they're doing this out of No Mercy. That's all I'm saying.
Well, let me ask you guys a question. I know we're probably going to ask what are your predictions after and shit, but I'm just curious. I want to do that the main event.
What?
Who do you think is going to win this shit?
What do you mean? Which match?
The main event, which is Brock and Braun Strowman.
Brock all the way. Brock is winning. He's been getting squashed by by fucking Braun Strowman for the last fucking month, and you think that Brock is gonna lose? No. The payoff is gonna be Brock winning.
I don't think Brock is going to win like normal win.
No. I think he's gonna get his ass kicked before he wins.
I think they destroy each other is what I think.
Yeah, I think. First of all, it's a regular match. It's not a street fight. It's not no disqualification match. It's a regular match, right? Exactly. I believe if you put Braun Strowman over Brock Lesnar is definitely taking a hiatus, right? But it's not because of fucking what happened to John Jones.
Right. Exactly.
So that's not going to happen. And if you have Brock beat Braun Strowman, you can't do that because he's on a fucking big ass roll. Why would you bury him for that? So I believe the easy way out of this situation would be them brawling. They don't listen to the ref. They're brawling like crazy. Exactly. They lose control out of the fucking situation, and that match will continue somewhere down the road.
Exactly. That's what I think. That's exactly what I think. Nobody's gonna lose this match.
Yeah, I think they need to keep them strong. For the real actual match.
By the way, like we said earlier, Brock is respecting Braun. They're gonna I think go all out in this match, and I think they're gonna do something where like you said, the referee's gonna have to stop it or something like that. But I think you're gonna see some cool shit between these two guys. That's what I think. You're gonna see some suplexes. You're gonna see some hard shots. I don't know if you remember, Byron, the hard shot that Brock did at the Royal Rumble against Braun, and I think we talked about it. So you're going to see some heavy blows in this match. That's what I think. But I believe
that. Yeah.
But I mean, like they're gonna go all out, in my opinion.
They definitely gonna go all out. Listen, without a shadow of a doubt, that match is gonna be a barn burner. But I don't see Braun Strowman winning. If there's gonna be a winner, it's gonna be Brock. Brock is not gonna get bitched out.
I don't see anybody winning. That's just my opinion. I think that it's gonna end in total chaos. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's the easy way to fucking not bury any of them, pretty much.
Exactly. And what's interesting is that you can say what you want about Brock, but when Brock is in the main event, it feels like a main event. He still has that aura about him. And being at SummerSlam, people were, every time Brock would get up from one of these Braun Strowman attacks, people were very into it, man. I mean,
you know why? And it goes back to how people were complaining he's not around.
Right.
But if you really think about
exactly.
it, that's what's making him
exactly
that unique character where you only see him in important times.
Yep, I agree. And I think that should be the case. By the way, that's exactly how they should have been booking Nakamura. You should not be seeing Nakamura every single week on SmackDown. You should have made it more special. And if you did have him on SmackDown, he needs to have like a 15-minute match to go all out, and he needs to be with guys that are not going to be little bitches and complain about some of the hard shots.
Yo,
that's what he does.
I wanted to ask you. I wanted to say this before. Out of all the guys that came from NXT, I think Kevin Owens is the only one that's really stayed where he's at, on the level he's at.
Right.
Everybody else was
but I blame all that on him though. He's taking these characters and he makes the best of it, man. Even when you think Kevin Owens is like going downhill, he just does something that fucking makes him go back up.
And what's crazy about it is that, I know Vince doesn't think of him highly and shit. I mean, you could obviously tell when they were in the ring, he kind of made fun of his fucking fatness and all that shit.
All you have to do is look at her, pal.
Yeah, he had to say it. You get what I'm saying? So,
exactly.
But also the guy. Listen, the promo that he cut to last night was reminiscing of his old ROH guy.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Kevin Steen came out last night.
Yeah, and I was like, oh shit! Like if it was good, and I like where they're going with it.
You know what?
The whole.
But you know what the problem that I have with it is? Shane McMahon.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know if you heard about this. The whole plan was supposedly Vince McMahon was going to come out. He was going to confront Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens was going to supposedly say that you have to put Shane has to put up his part of the stock of the company of SmackDown and blah blah blah. And they were going to go into the Hell in a Cell. If he beats him, he takes it. Triple H was supposed to interfere, help Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens was going to give all the rights to Triple H. And that was supposed to build the fight to Mania with Triple H and Shane McMahon.
Okay.
That was supposed to happen. I don't know what happened. They decided not to go with that. But I know if Kevin Owens goes, over Shane, it's because Triple H is going to interfere.
But my problem with it is that Shane, again, I've never thought, he had a great match with Kurt Angle. I forgot what year it was. But the thing is, like, I just, if you watch that Hell in a Cell match with Undertaker, even the AJ Styles, it's just not the same Shane McMahon. That's the part that I'm not excited about. I'm I don't know, man. Like Shane, he still feels big because he's a McMahon. So fighting Shane is a big deal, but match-wise, I hope that he does better than the last couple of times that we've seen him because he has not been that great. I'm sorry. I can't.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Who the fuck is going to believe?
When Vince McMahon had matches, at least he had great matches. Like, believe it or not, Vince McMahon had some really cool, like, epic matches with Austin and Hogan and, Ric Flair at the Royal Rumble. I don't know if you ever... That's one of the most underrated matches in WWE. Vince McMahon and Ric Flair at the Royal Rumble.
But, think about it. Like, you having Kevin Owens, a guy who's psychotic in that ring, he's a badass in that ring. When he wants to wrestle, he'll wrestle you in circles and shit. Come on, who's going to believe Shane is going to beat this guy?
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying? I don't see that happening. I can't not see Shane pinning or getting out the cage unless Vince comes, helps him, or something like that.
They never, by the way, have like Shane punching out Kevin Owens. I mean that's just very unrealistic.
Did you hear that Jericho actually warned Kevin Owens? I think he warned Kevin Owens if you're gonna go into a segment with this guy, be careful with Shane's punches because he likes to throw punches.
Basically that Jericho basically said that he had to like rough up Shane during Survivor Series because Shane was punching him in the mouth. at least 3 or 4 times, different times.
And that's McMahon got knocked out during the match, and they had to.
Yeah, and if you notice, Shane did beat up Kevin Owens and punched him in his face because he saw him backstage. He had a lump in his eye already.
Yeah. So let me tell you something. Owens is a good guy to do that because he's wrestled some really hardcore matches in Ring of Honor. Yeah. He's okay with that. He's gonna be good with that. Like he'll give it back to Shane. So yeah, Owens will be okay with that.
But let me ask you something. What do you think? Here's the thing with this match. Okay, they're fighting, right?
Yeah.
What do you get out of them fighting?
Nothing.
Exactly. So they have to throw that thing in there where it's going to build something else leading to something. You get what I'm saying? Right. I believe Triple H is going to interfere.
The word around the campfire is that it will build also to a Survivor Series match where Owens has a team and Shane has a team. That's what I heard.
Okay. Well, but either way,
of those possibilities.
Either way, I believe Triple H is going to get involved because that's his guy, and the McMahons are going after his guy. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Just to because we don't have a lot of time. No Mercy's this Sunday, and besides the 2 mega matches, do we know about any other match? I know, like Miz. Oh my God! I mean,
this fucking kid, man.
Oh God, man! What a just horrifying decision it was. Like, let me tell you something. If they had not not gone with Jason being Kurt Angle's son, right? And they just would have had Jason going to Kurt Angle and saying, "Can you mentor me? Can you make me like?"
Yeah, it would have been definitely a lot better.
Would have been a completely different story. Because Jason is an incredible athlete. Like his suplexes are amazing, man. And again, you also when they were in NXT, they were always doing the Kurt Angle thing. And had they just gone that route, had they just said, "Hey, Kurt, can you help me with this or whatever?" he would have been just fine. But you had to do the son thing, and now he's stuck with that.
Forever. This is another thing I got a question. Jason Jordan has been losing for like weeks and weeks and weeks, and he's gonna fight for the Intercontinental Champion. I really thought that spot should have been for Jeff Hardy. I really thought Jeff Hardy was gonna win, and he pulls it off. Is he gonna win the championship? I really hope not. I don't think it's not gonna help him get over.
No, it's not gonna be. No, if he wins that title, it's gonna be even worse for him. But then again, he could turn heel. So And by the way, I just want to say for the record that. Yes, Jason Jordan is in a very bad spot, but I believe that there's something in this kid that he might be another Rock in the sense that when the Rock was Rocky Maivia, everybody thought it was the corniest, dumbest shit in the world, and then all of a sudden he turned heel and it was a completely different story. I'm saying that there could be a possibility that Jason has that same thing.
Yeah, but he doesn't have that charisma though. Like we don't see he does. Yeah, he doesn't have it. He doesn't. I don't see it.
Okay.
I mean, I remember the Rock cutting promos, and at least he was hyped.
Dude, that was Rocky Maivia. Come on, man.
No, I know, but there's a difference. I could automatically tell. He does not have that.
I don't know. Like I'm giving him a chance on that. Like I think I'm not saying that he has it for sure, but I'm saying give him a chance.
There's a reason why they gave him that fucking stupid gimmick. There's a reason for that. It wasn't because he has mic skills and he has a personality. It's because he was lacking that shit.
But Byron, they didn't know. WWE didn't know Austin had mic skills. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes they don't know. I mean, they don't know. Even though, if you watch WCW, him and Brian Pillman were amazing as the Hollywood Blondes, and he did have mic skills. But Vince McMahon had no clue about.
You have a point.
You never know. Like, I think if he turns heel, I think there's a possibility that this kid is going to show us something. Now, I could be totally wrong on that, but I don't know. Like, there's something about this kid. Like, I saw him on Monday. And yes, he has that stigma with the Kurt Angle thing, but inside that ring, man, he is amazing. Like he
But you know
really.
what? I did say this before, man. I really hope this works out for him because if it doesn't,
Yep.
he's fucked.
He's really
Yeah,
fucked.
like he's literally fucked because it's like giving him a Goldust gimmick.
Yeah.
That's it,
And by the
man.
way, and so and then we have, I don't know if the Hardys even have a match. Do they have a match? What is it? What is it
Uh,
doing with the Hardys? Like I don't
Does
understand.
the Hardys have a match? That's a good question. And on top of my head, I don't know.
I don't understand how
Because
they're not.
because if Jeff Hardy was fighting for the Intercontinental Championship for an opportunity on Monday, then they don't have a match.
well,
Exactly.
listen. Before we do go, also we have to bring
Yeah.
up the fact of the situation that's been going on with TNA or Impact or whatever the fuck you want to call them now. Like I don't know what you want to call them
GFW.
because they've been called everything from fucking shit to fucking I don't know. They just have too many names, man.
I think it's funny, man. They brought Jim Cornette on TV to be the authority figure. Now he's left because he can't go to Canada because that's where TNA is going, and so they busted on that one. Then you have the situation where every title that they had it says GFW on it, and now they can't use that.
And you know what's
So
the messed up thing? So they have a quote and they state, "Oh well, Jeff Jarrett. We don't know if he's gonna run GFW on his own, but basically little by little, GFW the name is gonna fade away. So if Jeff Jarrett decides to run GFW on his own, being separate from Impact, do you know how many people are still gonna think that's Impact? They're already there. They're gonna tune in thinking it's Impact or Impact fans.
Listen to how crazy. Listen to how crazy this is. First of all, I don't keep up with what the fuck's going on with that company at all. I only hear the news that comes out.
Right.
But I remember seeing Jeff Jarrett tweeting, can't wait for the next couple of weeks that they had plans, this and that. And then the following day, like later on in the day, supposedly he was terminated or he left the company or he was going on hiatus.
Terminated.
Yeah, it's like that. First of all, he got screwed again because from the same company he got screwed twice.
But I heard Byron that he was yelling at people and being kind of a dick.
Either way, you got fucked in the same fucking company. Like he really did. Like you went there and you were there for what reason? I don't know. I never liked Jeff Jarrett. I don't think he brings shit to nothing. So anyways, but the funny thing is that company, that company is not succeeding at any point. Like they're done. They're absolutely done.
Okay.
Nobody.
Again, how many times are we gonna?
No. But here's the thing.
I'm done.
After so many times, people backing off their company, people leaving, people coming in, trying to help the situation, trying to build it back up. How many people do you think are actually going to stick around for this company at this point?
I get what you're saying, but we've said that many times.
I want somebody to tell me the ratings for this fucking shit.
Okay, but it doesn't matter, Byron, because they have a contract for an entire year, so it doesn't matter.
I'm just curious. I want to know the ratings to this fucking episodes that they're showing because I guarantee you. Listen, I guarantee you. Remember how they used to have the steady ratings? I guarantee you right now, those ratings have plumbed.
I don't know. What I know for sure is that they have another year, so they could be on TV for another year. And the guy that I think owns it, the Anthem guy, said that TNA is not going anywhere. That could be bullshit, but
he's bullshitting because that guy wants out too, and he's only sticking around because they have one more year to do what they can with that company. He's saying that shit, but he wants out.
Again, how many? Once again, but in reality, we've said that so many times. Every single time we've said that. This is it. This is done. Dude, when it's done, that's when I'll say it's done.
But you know what's funny? Even if it's not done, it's done because nobody even gives a shit about it anymore.
What I think is even more funny is that people think that if they change the name,
that
it doesn't matter. They could call it piece of shit. That's what people look at it as, a piece of shit. Like the name is not going to do anything, man. Name is not going to do it. I mean, according to Josh Matthews, it's going to be called Impact. You know,
Josh Matthews.
which I said it
Yep.
should be called. It should be
They're
called.
going back to Impact.
I think it should be called IWF. That's what I think. Impact Wrestling Federation or something.
I think they should just be called. I don't know what we're going to be called next week.
I don't know, dude. Like but again, they have to get new championship belts, and I don't know if you know this or not. I got into the whole championship belt thing. Like it's really expensive to get belts for them. I mean, so they have to now order a whole brand new set of championship belts, and that is not cheap.
I really feel bad for the people who stuck with that company, who are still there, and they don't know what the hell's gonna happen next week, the week after that. Because honestly, the way that shit's been going,
like years,
dude, yeah, but the way it's been going, dude, I'm like.
But it's been going on for years, Byron. I mean, it's the same shit for years, and people have not known. You know what?
I wonder. I want somebody to ask. What's the guy's name? The cowboy guy that he used to team up with Bobby. Yeah, I want somebody to ask him. Just what are you thinking, man? Like at this point in your careers, like I'm just curious, dude.
What I want the most is for WWE to buy that library. That's what I care about the most. I want them to buy the library because they could do the greatest Rise and Fall DVD of all time with that company.
Did you hear the Anthem when they were thinking about backing off from the company? They weren't going to sell it to WWE. They were planning to sell it most likely to ROH because supposedly they're also having some kind of a network deal going on and shit. So, but honestly, I do see WWE purchasing the library at some point. It's coming. It's coming.
Triple H is very interested in it. This man I heard was interested in it, and again, that's a very valuable thing to have.
It is.
The DVDs you could do, and again, the Rise and Fall. They could have Dixie Carter on it because she would participate. So
she was already on it before.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about this pay-per-view really quick because we got to get out of here. It's late for us on the on our time. Okay, so Cruiserweight Championship. Why this is happening, I have no idea. Enzo Amore versus Neville. I didn't even know Neville was the champion. And by the way, talk about one of the ugliest looking titles. Like I said, I've really gotten into titles. I'm starting to buy a lot of them, and they're really expensive. The Cruiserweight Championship. I saw it on my hands. It is the ugliest looking title I've ever seen. Next to the NXT title, which looks like a piece of shit.
I'm glad you mentioned that because first of all, did you see the new trailer for the WWE game?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. First of all, awesome because I think they're bringing back some elements of Here Comes the Pain when you were able to wrestle backstage and do dives off things and interact with a lot of the things backstage. Was it Here Comes the Pain or Smackdown something?
There was a lot of I did that, but Here Comes the Pain was
Shut Your Mouth. I think it was Shut Your Mouth, though. I think it was Shut Your Mouth.
Oh, Here Comes... You could go to Times Square, though.
Oh, so then it was that one, then. It was that one. But it looks good, dude. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because they showed the Cruiserweight title on Neville.
Yeah.
And it looks cool in the game, though. I don't know how in person it must look, but it looks pretty cool.
I just, it's $400, right, if you want to buy it. I just cannot see owning that title. It's just not a good-looking title when you see it up close. It has no design. It's just a circle. It says Cruiserweight on it, and that's it. There's no design to it at all. It's not like the championship that Hogan had back in the 80s, the Wing Eagle title, or even the IC title. That they have designs, but the Cruiserweight title and the NXT title, which they have that NWA thing, that I don't know if you noticed, the NWA title has these things sticking out of it, and NXT is obviously using that. But anyway, as far as the game is concerned, dude, I'll be honest with you, I'm not that excited about it. And if we do another show, I'll get into why. But we're running out of time, obviously. Enzo versus Neville. I hope Neville wins. By the way, I hope Neville wins.
Me too.
It would be the dumbest fucking thing to have.
Yeah, I don't know. I want Enzo to win. I feel like I know they're burying Enzo, but let's be honest, man. He brought a little more interest in 205 than anybody else. Yes, he has. Yes, he has.
I'm not even interested.
Listen, some of the shit he was doing in the beginning was fucking funny as fuck, man. When he weighed himself, I don't know if you've seen a video of him weighing himself and taking off everything. It was fucking hilarious. The guy, to me, in the beginning, he was bringing interest to the cruiserweights. It's now when I'm starting to feel opposite now because I feel like they're burying the shit out of him, man. I mean, what the fuck is going on here?
Definitely understand that. But do you watch the 205 live show? Oh, for real?
Do I watch it?
Yeah.
Truthfully, I think I seen one episode with him in it because he was in it.
That's not funny.
But I want to see hold on, but didn't he fight for the belt the other day?
I don't know.
Oh no! He's going to fight. No, he's going to fight for the belt.
But right. even though, like, let's just say, okay, you're interested in it. Okay, you watch that match at the pay-per-view. It's still not going to be enough for you to tune in to 205 every week.
Right, exactly.
No, I just like Enzo. I like his whole character. I really hope he turns heel with that annoying character.
Yeah, but the problem is...
I'm not going to turn my back on him. Yeah, it's just that WWE is really doing a good job to make people not like him.
I would want to see him turn heel also. But here's the problem. If he turns heel, the platform that he's given to turn heel in is not going to be exposed anywhere, really, because nobody's going to pay attention to it.
Right, exactly.
That's the problem.
But he's still on Raw. I mean, he's still got a segment on Raw.
Oh, who are you going with in the match, Enzo or Neville?
I mean, damn, I want Enzo to win, but the way they've been treating Enzo, I'm gonna say Enzo. Enzo's winning. He's getting that belt.
By the way,
the realest guy for the 201 to the 205.
I agree with you. I want Enzo to win as well, but I don't think he should win right now. It's just not the right time, in my opinion.
Yeah, too fast. I mean, if they really want to repackage him and shit,
not just fast, but also the fact that he's been, trashed for I don't think it looks good that he's been beat up and all that kind of stuff, and then he wins the title. It would look weird to me anyway. The next match is a match again. We don't even have enough time to even get into this, but Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt.
Oh.
They're fighting because of face paint. That's the reason.
Bray Wyatt doesn't like face paint, so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so stupid, man. It's just like, what a waste. What a waste of both guys, in my opinion. Finn Balor was one of the coolest guys in the independents.
You know what? Another guy, NXT guy, who just was popular, and then boom. Once he got on the main roster.
I told you, without his makeup, he's really not that interesting.
He's starting not to be interesting. Sami Zayn lost all of his luster. I mean, they are doing a great job of just fucking up characters that I used to once love.
Yeah, popular characters, man.
You have the next match. Okay, so wait, who's gonna win, Baylor or? Because I think Baylor won the SummerSlam one, right?
Yeah. I really don't care about this match, but
neither do I. Trust me.
Who's gonna win?
I'm gonna say Finn Balor.
Okay. I'm gonna say Bray Wyatt because I think Baylor won the last one, so I'm saying Bray Wyatt.
I'm gonna say Bray Wyatt because I want him to win.
The next match, which I think will be an awesome match because every time they fight, it is awesome. Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins versus The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro. By the way, that is their official name, and they have an awesome, cool T-shirt. By the way, on WWE.
The Bar, that's their name.
Yep. I like.
Yeah. Ambrose is Seth by a little bit.
I think this is going to be one of the best matches of the night.
I'm going to say, I think the Shield will keep the belts. Even though it's going to be, I think, it's going to be a good match. And I think Sheamus and Cesaro should get it because it just keeps the heels on top, and the underdog guys always chasing for the belt,
I agree.
But whatever. I think these guys just won the belt, and you don't want to have them lose it so quick. So I would say Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins keep it because of that reason.
Exactly. My thing is that Sheamus and Cesaro probably should be the champions because I think they're doing the best stuff that they've ever done. However, what else can you do with Rollins and Ambrose? That's why I think they're going to keep the belts. There's nothing else you can do with them besides obviously break them up, which will probably happen somewhere down the road. But I'm going with Rollins and Ambrose because
And
what else?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, what else can you do? The main event picture is kind of taken right now. Rollins is out of that.
Whenever they decide to break up these guys again,
Yep.
the guy who's gonna turn is gonna be
Yeah.
Ambrose, and he's gonna,
Yep.
I think, most likely be the heel. I think it would just be like revenge type thing, like haha, you fell for it, and I was just,
Yeah. I agree.
And I think it would be so cool if he did it that way, and he becomes the heel, and Seth Rollins stays as the babyface, even though he sucks as the babyface, man, big time. I hate him as a babyface.
The women's match: Alexa Bliss versus Sasha versus Bayley versus Nia Jax versus Emma. Why Emma's in this match, I don't know, but man, this is again too long to get into. I'm going with Alexa Bliss.
Me too, Alexa Bliss.
Yeah. Yeah, Alexa Bliss.
You know what? Nobody wants Bayley to win.
No. Miz versus Jason Jordan for one of the best championships of all time, the Intercontinental title.
The Miz better win.
I gotta tell you, man, I'm not into the Miz at all. I kind of want Jason Jordan to win, but I know if he does, it's probably gonna be worse for him unless he turns heel. So I don't know. Like I'm going with the Miz too, though.
I'm going with the Miz. I think it's too soon for Jason Jordan. He sucks. He's not over enough to fucking take that belt. And if they give him the belt, it's because they're gonna just try to make everybody hate him on purpose because people cannot go get behind him.
Keep in mind that The Rock, as Rocky Maivia, did win the belt.
Yeah.
He was, very early champion. So I really do see this guy following the same pattern. I really do.
I hope so. I mean, if he could do that, then yeah, that would be awesome.
I hope so. Yeah, me too. All right. So now we have John Cena versus Roman Reigns. A match that should not be taking place at all right here, but it is. So I'm gonna just go with Roman Reigns on this one. I think it's gonna be a trilogy, and I think Roman will take match one. Oh.
Yeah, Roman Reigns is gonna win.
Sorry.
Like we said before, this is a main event that should be at Mania. Who would win? I'm gonna have to say Roman Reigns.
I just think this is gonna be a multiple match situation.
I hope so, but I think the guy who's gonna win will be Roman Reigns at the moment because Cena is gonna go away.
Yep.
So to keep the guy strong, because he's still gonna be there, would be Roman. So I think he's gonna go over Cena because of that reason. If I knew Cena was staying, it would make me it would be a little bit more complicated for me to. It would be harder for me to choose a victor.
That's true. I wouldn't choose a victor because that's not his name. His name is Cena. But anyway, but we already obviously talked about Braun and Brock. I don't think anybody's going to win that match. But if there is a winner, it's going to be Brock. And I think
for sure.
we all agree with that. I just don't see anybody being pinned in this match at all. Because
it shouldn't happen.
Exactly. But then Vince, he might be in the mood to get, sometimes he changes his mind in the match.
Or I just thought, even though this is not going to happen, but what if? Well, let's just say, what if John Jones comes out?
That would be awesome.
And cost Brock Lesnar his match. The
Battle of the Royal Rage.
Built up for WrestleMania, John Jones versus Brock Lesnar.
Really, really quick. We got 5 more minutes. Really quick. Did you like Byron the Mayweather McGregor?
It went exactly how I predicted it would go. It was fun to watch. I was entertained, but I saw exactly how Mayweather was playing. He just basically led this guy to believe he has some kind of opportunity, which he never did. I think Mayweather could have knocked him out at any point. He wanted to. He wanted to give the fans the last opportunity to see something great.
Yes.
And he stuck it out there until the 10th round. I mean, listen, I already knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. He was playing
Conor,
with him. He wanted to act like it was gonna be a competitive fight. It wasn't. He fucking led him. The guy was covering up and gave him his back, for Christ's sake.
When the hell did you ever see Mayweather fight like that?
Like never. It was pretty obvious.
And not only that, but also I don't know how many boxing fights you've seen. I've seen a lot because of my dad. There's no boxing fight that would have tolerated the amount of, when McGregor would hold. No, let me tell you something. No other boxing fight would tolerate more than one of those. Not one.
Listen, one thing I say about Conor though, man, Conor, you got to give him his respect because he went in there and fought his heart out against one of the big.
He was dead tired.
Number one guy.
McGregor couldn't even pick up his arm.
I know, but I already saw me and we watch MMA, so we already know how McGregor can't last up to a certain point. And I already saw listen, Conor had only until the third round to knock this guy out. If he doesn't knock him out by the second round, the third round he's done. From that point he's not gonna be able to do shit because his stamina is so bad, and it showed. He was throwing punches that didn't mean shit.
He just couldn't pick up his arms. Like
if you saw the fight that he had with
Nate Diaz, like a fucking zombie after a while.
If you saw the fight he had with Nate Diaz, he had the same exact look when he was gassed out during the Mayweather match. The same exact look.
By the way, that's not Brock. That's gassed out. McGregor, that was gassed out. Brock do more than McGregor in that.
And speaking of this boxing thing, I don't know if you guys saw the fight this past Saturday.
I'm watching tomorrow.
Okay, well, Canelo versus Triple G. Now, first off, this was supposed to be the real fight over McGregor and Mayweather, right? It was a great fight. I watched it here in my house with my friends. We all ordered it, whatever, like we did with the Gregor fight. But the boxing had an opportunity to really bring a lot of fans that probably turned away from them a while back, and that were brought back because of the Mayweather and Conor thing. And it also brought new faces, new people to the product, and they had an opportunity to have that. But then you had this bullshit where Triple G beat the shit out of Canelo. The whole fucking he beat him up. Period. And it went into where the judges had to pick the winner. And one of the judges gave fucking Canelo fucking 118 to fucking 112 or whatever the fuck it was. The other judge was like a draw, and the other judge gave it to Triple G. I'm like, this is why boxing is in the shithole that it's in.
You needed Hulk Hogan to come out and cut that promo that he did in Bash to the Beach. This is why this company is the damn shape that it's in, because of bullshit like this.
No, but it's for real though. For real. I mean, listen. When they announced it,
don't you think that McGregor and Mayweather hurt?
No, not at all.
In terms of people ordering it, I'm just saying. In terms of people,
yes,
people
maybe
spent $100 on the Mayweather. A couple of weeks. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's why Hoya was so pissed off about that fight, because he realized, hey, you're gonna sell out $100 for that fight, and then in a couple of weeks you have to sell out $80 for this one. Like that, it had to affect it.
No,
one of the two fights had to affect the other.
But here's the thing, Joey. Like I said before, even if it was right, you still had a lot of fucking people interested in the fight because this was an actual fight with two top guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of interest, especially with after the MMA people were interested in what Conor did in boxing, and then they heard about the Canelo versus Triple G and the hype that was in for that. There was a lot of hype, and there was new faces, and then people realized, wait a minute, what? This is fixed.
Yeah.
This is why we don't watch boxing, man.
No,
And I heard,
what the
I heard the
judge
gave the judge that gave Canelo got suspended because of that.
And she's banned from UFC to judge. Like UFC does not want her judging nothing that they do. Yeah.
Dude, how the fuck can she give this guy 118 to like 112? What the fuck is she smoking?
I saw a couple of highlights, but I'm gonna watch it tomorrow because they're gonna. I'm sorry, not tomorrow, Saturday. Because again, I ordered the Mayweather not because I wanted to, but I just I ordered.
But you enjoyed it, you enjoyed it.
Come on. I did. No,
It wasn't a boring fight. It was an entertaining fight. It was entertaining.
I was absolutely pleasantly surprised. I really was. Like after the Pacquiao thing, I really thought like, oh God, but it was good. It turned out to be a good fight.
Mayweather gave what he basically said because of the whole Pacquiao fight. He gave the fans, something to really enjoy and shit. So.
But anyway, so that's basically it. We're gonna, do one in a couple of weeks. Hopefully, we'll keep that schedule. But anyway, because we didn't get a chance to talk about a lot of stuff that I'm sure we're forgetting about stuff that we probably should have talked about. But anyway, we'll do one in a couple of weeks. Enjoy No Mercy. I think it's going to be a really good pay-per-view, to be honest. Just with those two matches, but also the Cesaro tag team match, I think is going to be good. I think there's potential for Miz and Jason Jordan to be
I was just going to say, I think that match is going to be good too. Because listen, the Miz can go also when he's paired with somebody that can match with him,
I agree. So hopefully it'll be good, man. That's basically it. The man who sleeps on the floor cannot possibly fall on the bed.
What does that mouth do?